Hi, and welcome to this training on how to save a relationship on the brink of ending without getting into more arguments, switching off, or without full closure, knowing clearly whether it could have worked or not, and knowing that you've done everything you can to gain that clarity. So most couples are struggling with a lack of communication. Either they are not talking to each other, giving the silent treatment, talking, but only about mundane things like bills, activities, or just saying the pleasantries, hi, bye, thank you, and that's about it. Or they are bickering rather than communicating. It's a really difficult space to be in because both parties are hurting themselves and the relationship in the process, and many feel unseen and unheard, like they're talking to a brick wall when they are speaking to their partner and not really being listened to at all. And this creates more situations of broken trust. As some have shared more than once what they really need, and the lack of action on what they need has led them to feel frustrated and unloved. There are sadly many incidents of cheating in various different forms. This inevitably leads to hurt, distrust, insecurities, and fears in the relationship with each other. The disconnection, poor communication, and broken trust in the relationship can also cause a lack of intimacy. So no sex life, no closeness with each other, no affection even, and that can keep pushing a couple further and further apart. The lack of connection causes further conflict and can get so much harder not to argue. Even when children are around, it can be difficult to hold back. Many don't know why, emotionally and mentally. And so maybe you're wondering right now what to do. Not wanting to break up or be alone, you want the relationship life you dreamed of at the beginning. But you sometimes feel that it would be easier to be single, on your own. You're really not sure. Maybe you're confused about that because it's such a huge decision to make in your life, and you're just not sure what to do or what's really going on. And maybe you've even thought about getting a divorce or separating. Maybe you're going through that process, or the end of the relationship has been brought up by one of you. Well, if any of these things or situations I've shared are resonating with you, then it can feel like a pressure cooker about to explode into a nuclear fallout, into this massive explosion that can really destroy everything around it. And if these are not fixed, it can cause into a nuclear fallout, into this massive explosion that can really destroy everything around it. And if these are not fixed, it can cause serious issues. Financially, it can impact the whole household because it's difficult to focus on work or to be as motivated. The career prospects, promotions, business flow can really start to be damaged. Maybe you're not showing up at work as much, or maybe you've got a business and you're not motivated enough in that because you're emotionally drained, because things are not going right in your relationship. Or if you're a full-time parent, maybe you're not your best with the children, snapping or just feeling exhausted all the time. The disrupted sleep and emotional roller coaster can cause a situation where most people are getting depressed and upset and in emotional pain. And that can lead to more unhealthy habits to escape, workaholism, or spending sprees to numb out, to not feel, to not think, which causes problems, of course. And then this creates a lack of time because time is literally floating away. No meaningful memories, little happiness. Time is wasted. It's so sad because we only have so much time on this earth, and many are just making it go away, going through the motions, unhappy, like blowing the enjoyment away, blowing it out of the window, down the drain. Days, weeks, months, even years gone down the drain. Time disappears like it's just nothing. And many realise that they get 10 to 25 years down the line and they've wasted all of that time, leaving a mediocre life in a mediocre or... So yes, there's hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And if you said yes to any of these things, they are symptoms of the mistakes that most couples are making. The 4 biggest mistakes that most couples are making in trying to fix the relationship are: first, talking over problems. Now, many are trying to fix their relationship using the same level of thinking which really got them there. They have tried to talk to their partner about the issues without first building a connection. They may even study communication skills, but find it hard because this enables them to fight more effectively with their partner. In some instances, these improved skills of communication can be more damaging than helpful. And this is really causing many couples to go further and further, spiraling into negative states. Or the second biggest mistake is that many are watching or listening to YouTube or podcasts only, or seeking traditional marriage counsellors, which give unhelpful advice, from talk about all of your problems to have no contact after you've separated, both a disaster. So they end up worse off or in divorce. And what most people think the actual solution is actually causing more pain and confusion. Couples go to see a counsellor, they get fixated on the problems, drag up the events months and years ago that happened. The past hurts, those are painful times. They're all brought to the surface. The resentments and the negative thoughts are all shared. This, of course, puts you into a negative state of where you were, and this is what kills it. There are repeat sessions, more distance created, often leaving them feel utterly hopeless and unhappy with their relationship, and no solutions to save it. This causes damage to self-esteem and the couple talking over the past hurt. Plus, no one ever saved their relationship by talking. You cannot talk someone into your way of thinking or feeling. It needs more than this. The third biggest mistake is giving up the relationship and regretting it later. Shockingly, 50% of divorcees regret the breakup. That's a massive consequence to giving up in the relationship too early, giving up on your dreams and long-term happiness. How can I say that? Well, because of this study. Shockingly, 50% of people who get divorced regret the breakup a year later. Researchers who studied divorcees a year later found that after the dust is settled, 54% experienced divorcees. A year later found that after the dust is settled, 54% experienced second thoughts about why they had made that decision and question whether they made the right decision. Many realizing that they still love their ex-partner. For some, the regrets have been so severe that 42% have moments where they've considered giving the relationship another go, with a large percentage of actually making the effort to try again. Sadly for them, 79% fail to win the husband or wife back after the divorce and end up regretting the past and wishing they had saved it when they could. Google it later if you like. It's a really fascinating study, and I just couldn't believe that a whole year later, 54% were questioning what they had done. The fourth big mistake is staying stuck in uncertainty in no man's land, observing their own life and relationship like an observer who don't have any feelings anymore because they've become numb to the relationship, numb to their partner. They just don't feel anything, or they can't accept any love or appreciation being given to them, where they're stuck in their head, over-analysing everything, changing their mind back and forth, with every small event that happens. They're drained. They're analysing so much that they're not truly experiencing what life has to offer, because they're in their head the whole time, like a prison. Sometimes they may even put themselves through the mental torture of writing out a list of pros and cons, which is pointless. It's a pointless, soul-destroying exercise, as you cannot compare all of your relationship history with an unknown future. How can you possibly know what to weigh? How can you possibly know what it may be like in the future if you work on the relationship or if you leave? This really causes so many people to stay stuck in anguish. So if you're currently trying any of these 4 right now and things are not amazing between you and your partner, I've got some good news for you. These are not the real problem. Because the real problem is that everyone is trying to fix a relationship when what you really have to do is create a new relationship by revitalizing the love process. So what it's kind of like is trying to fix a broken pot. Right now the relationship may be like a china pot. Lots of fragmented pieces, broken. And they're all over the place, these pieces. And none of them are connected and all together. And once you revitalize your love process and connection between you, we create this golden vessel of love that can really stand the test of time and be strong. And you can carry everything inside of that strong vessel. And that's what happens when we revitalize the love process. We turn it from the broken, fragmented pieces into this brand new gold vessel that will enable you to both carry each other and live with each other in a great, loving way, smiling, happy and fulfilled. Today, as you watch this short video, you're going to learn the only way to open the lines of communication so that you can both talk without causing conflict or switching off, how to avoid how to avoid talking about past wrongs and re-establish your power as an individual, become the most attractive and best version of yourself, the fastest way to heal past wounds so your partner opens up to you without them having to be involved in the change process at all. Restoring intimacy won't happen until you understand and use the RRR process. And now to create a new relationship that's better than when you first got together. A bit like what Honra did here. She said that this has really helped her to clarify her perspective. When she came to me, she was really struggling at the time with whether to give her man another chance after he lied to her several times about different things. She was doing this, that and the other, trying to fix it from a Google search. And after going through the revitalizing the love process, she is now experiencing many issues in the relationship, and through applying the guidance was able to get the best out of her marriage. The steps helped her to positively change her perspective, and she now has peace of mind. Or Lindsay, whose wife was completely disconnected, didn't even want to be touched or spend any alone time with him. Due to the process, they are now in a much better place, where they're making exciting plans for the future and enjoying each other's company and intimacy again. So hi, I'm Nicola Beer, and after 12 years of helping thousands of clients to save their relationships, I've become an international bestseller on Amazon, in all these different books, and I've been featured in different publications, as you can see here. But it wasn't always like this for me. I really struggled with my relationships. I was at a real low point in my life, where me and my partner were not connecting at all. We were sleeping in separate bedrooms and more like flatmates than lovers. I felt really lonely and completely depressed, like the lines of communication had been completely severed. We were only making small talk, and I started turning to work, alcohol and exercise to fill the massive void I was feeling. It was like we were both stuck in the middle of this brick wall. And it wasn't until I discovered what I'm about to share with you today about the revitalizing the love process did things really start to change for me, and my relationship from then on started to improve. I was filled instead with a deep sense of love and connection, I never lost my power to the past and negativity. And that's why I created the RRR method, to help you to create a new relationship that's better than when you first got together, without wasting time talking over past problems. So the first step is to reset the vision and to stop talking about your old problems. What most people are trying to do is talk about their own problems. And what happens is it's kind of like you're talking to a brick wall. It's not getting through. No one's hearing you. No one's hearing what you're saying on both sides of the equation. And it's just not landing for each other. And both of you feel unseen, unheard, and disregarded. And what happens with this is it keeps you stuck in a low vibe negative state. You feel drained and tired. Small things become mountains, and you wonder whether you are with the wrong person, or maybe you're the wrong person. It means something's wrong about you. It's like living with a roommate that irritates you. And life can start feeling like a flat tire, unable to move forward without any hope of being fixed. So what do you really have to do to revitalize the love process? We need to reset the vision by uncovering authentic needs and rules of connection and taking action to recommit, showing each other that you care about those shared experiences and take action. And what it's a bit like is, it's a bit like you're both redesigning where you really want to go and coming together and reconnecting on all of those things and really allowing each other to express what they want, the changes and the actions they want to see. And the best place to do this is to start by writing everything down that you truly want, and not with the other person. It's important first to have both that individual space and time to do, not with the other person. It's important first to have both that individual space and time to do that for yourself. Give yourself that gift. And what it's kind of like is, it's like you're designing and creating a map. Together, a map of where you want to go individually and both together. And this really allows you to start pulling yourself into that new vision of reality together. And then with all the goals and dreams, it requires action steps. What people find happens is when the relationship is on the brink of ending, it's because you both lost sight on the steps to get to your vision, or you stop planning or thinking about what you really want to experience together and individually in the relationship. And maybe you held back, stopped taking action, stopped showing love. And once you do this, you get into the top listed actions that you both are working towards a shared vision that will make you feel loved, valued and happy, giving both you the power to walk that path together. The bickering over small things will stop and you will start talking about what matters, the present and the future, giving each other what you both want, and you'll notice them interested in you again, giving you attention, making you feel noticed and special, like a team again. The sex life will be more passionate and satisfying. The new energy will make you feel secure and at peace without worrying that these things might get worse again. The changes will last as you have that vision with supporting actions. A bit like Avram here, who was extremely unhappy with his marriage. The most difficult part was the lack of closeness in the marriage, and they were also under a lot of financial stress. And the biggest lesson that he learned was that he could really design his life by creating that new vision and allowing him to really step into what he wants, and allowing his wife to also step into what she wants, and then to both walk that path united. The first step is to reset the vision and stop talking over past problems. So what's the next shift to help you create a new relationship that's better than what you're going through right now? That's better even than the beginning of your relationship. Well, the second shift is to release and clear resentment, which is the energy drain that's blocking you from happiness. And what most people do is brush things under the carpet. Any disagreements, anything that they don't want to see or discuss, they just brush it all under the carpet and don't talk about it. And so don't get to the root of the problem. And what happens is that you feel heavy. It's a bit like you're carrying all of this baggage to the airport and you're trying to travel somewhere, but you have to carry all of this heavy baggage, the anger, frustration, fear, disappointment, sadness, guilt around with you. And what this does is it causes the resentment to really build up inside. And the resentment is like a form of anger, but it's worse than anger because it stays inside you, inside your mind and body. And studies have shown that anger really increases your risk of stroke, and anger held inside or erupted into angry outbursts can cause a lot of blood clots in the brain, and it's been scientifically proven, unfortunately, that it's toxic for us. And it also creates a mess in your immune system because when you feel this pent-up anger and resentment, it can really cause a dip in the levels of your antibodies, and you will easily pick up the common colds, flus, stomach bugs, feel run down and weak. Anger problems also make anxiety worse. So if you're a worrier, it's important to note that anxiety and anger go hand in hand. In fact, in 2012, a study in the Journal of Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, researchers found that anger can exaggerate symptoms of generalized anxiety disorder, and anger is also closely linked to depression. Unresolved resentment can lead to upset and depression around certain activities, they concluded. So resentment and negative emotions can really create situations where small things become mountains, and insecurities can really plague you day and night, and you'll feel stronger distance between you and what you really want. You won't feel love even if you're giving it, even if they're giving it to you, because your heart is blocked. You've created a wall, and you feel weighed down by doubts, frustrations and fears. You could also be at risk of having health problems and heart issues, as I've already mentioned, and you'll have this low energy, low enthusiasm. Day by day, you'll become more negative and act in ways that you don't like. Instead of your home being a sanctuary, you will want to escape it or dread coming home. So what do you really have to do to fix these things? What you really have to do is to revitalize the love process. Well, what we have to do is release, to be free by coming aware of the baggage that you have and letting it go. You have the power to let it go, and some may require actions by you or by your partner to let them go, especially if they're happening now, and some you will just be able to let go. The first step is to release and be free. The first step is to be aware. We need to be like a detective and shine a light on those different feelings and thoughts that we personally are carrying and holding on to. And our partner ideally will do the same at the same time or at some point down the line. This is an individual process, and with my clients I go deeper on these steps to help them make that shift quickly in their lives. After seeing it clearly, we then make a decision to either let it go or to create and ask for change in the relationship so it can be fully released. And with that change, something in us completely shifts, and we will see it like a domino effect. It will create a shift in our partner. And this is kind of like you've been a caged bird in this emotional state of prison where you haven't been able to be free, to be yourself, and to be the caring, thoughtful person, loving person you really are deep down. You haven't been able to express who you are and who you want to be and what you want in a calm way. And it's kind of like you've been set free and you're above that now. The old ways of being are behind you, and you can now fly away and go wherever you want to go, free to express and free to be who you are, free from the chains of resentments and the chains of the past. And when you do release to be free, you're going to feel happier, more aligned, closer, like a team rather than two individuals coexisting together. And you will have removed any distance or coldness because you don't even need to say anything if you're carrying resentment. Your partner can see it on your face, feel it in your body language, and that negativity. So when you do change and make that shift, they will too. And that negativity. So when you do change and make that shift, they will too. And you'll move past the I love you, but I'm not in love with you stage in the relationship, because you will have come back to your own central feeling of being free. That central feeling will create a ripple effect with your partner, and you're going to feel trust and a sense of togetherness return, because you now easily trust them, because you can feel their love and see it. A bit like this client success story here. And when they did the releasing of negative thoughts and resentment, they felt like a new person, no longer getting annoyed time and time again. It improved their communication, and they managed to stop winding each other up. Now there is trust. His wife has completely stopped checking up on him, because without the baggage in the way, they feel happy and connected. Something that was missing for years. This is what really happens when you use a set to be free. Or a bit like Lynn here, who was at the point of depression, dealing with her partner's cheating and addiction issues. The hurt and resentment was understandably high. She now genuinely feels so lucky that she's found a way to release. They've created a better relationship, more closeness in communication through letting go of the baggage. That second step of this process is release to clear the resentment, the energy drain blocking them both from happiness. So what's the next shift? We've done the first two in the RRR method, and now we're on to the third step. The third shift is to re-establish love, communication, and watch your partner change overnight. So many couples experience the passive-aggressive silent treatment in their relationship. They would have a fallout, and then both don't want to talk to each other at all. They shut down and shut off, and this creates further shut off, and this creates further feelings of frustration and anger towards each other, because it creates tension in the home. It's not a good feeling or situation not talking to each other. Then there are many more that have angry outbursts, where they lose their temper and say really hurtful things, or get so mad that they throw things around in a fit of anger, or shout until they're red in the face. Other couples find themselves stuck in the rut of constant bickering or blaming. When this happens, it's like the lightning has just sparked again over the couple and house, and the fighting happens for almost no reason. It becomes a bad habit the couple are sucked into. If you don't use the love communication, you're going to be stuck trying to resolve your problems using outdated, old communication tools. You're trying to make a change by talking to them. Fall into a deep sense of loneliness if you don't fix this love communication point. So what you really have to do to revitalize the love process, you must re-establish love communication by learning the 25 principles of communication and how mirroring works. It's very important that you understand what mirroring is, and this is really one of the key defining moments that you're going to make in shifting your relationship, taking it to a completely different level. So mirroring is a scientifically proven situation where we watch others doing or feeling something, and the neurons fire in our brains that would fire as if we were taking our action or having that feeling ourselves. These neurons are referred to as mirror neurons, and they fire to reflect the actions and feelings of others. So what does this really mean? The great Gandhi said, "The change that you want to see in the world." And this really actually defines what mirroring creates and what mirroring is. So if we're taking positive actions and we're being in a loving space ourselves and communicating from that space and taking very necessary and deliberate conscious actions to create a good behaviour, our partner will mirror back our actions and our behaviours, and they will find it hard not to do so, because it's scientifically proven that mirroring is what creates positive action and positive change. Just like Gandhi says, be the change that we want to see. So to re-establish the love communication, we've got to first learn those 25 communication principles. We've got to learn them. We've got to understand how to communicate in a new, loving way so that you're conscious of that. Then we've got to start living from that space, from those principles. When we live from the law of communication in every action, when we learn how to communicate in a loving, forward-focused, supportive way, without desperation or neediness, then we have the power to create a change in the other person. Your actions and words will change their actions and words, and this is the reason why I've had the privilege of seeing hundreds of men and women save their marriage on their own. And this is how you can have such a great influence. You can see them change without having to beg, threaten, or even ask. And that's where you're going to see them change. The way that we respond to different things will allow them to change internally, and through this process of mirroring, major shifts will be made. It's kind of like you're going from version 1.0 of yourself to version 2.0 through the new skills of communication, new ways of being that will create this ripple effect of being, that will create this ripple effect within your partner and within your life that will make them change with you. So once you use this, both in the same way, you will find that you are talking and enjoying each other's company again. You will experience an effortless conversation that comes from love, empathy, and respect. And you'll have compassion and more emotional support as a result of being able to share freely. And you'll have the tools to de-escalate arguments before they erupt and you say horrible, hurtful things that cause lasting damage and disrespect, so that you instead can have meaningful, engaging, loving conversations. Like this woman I worked with. Her husband was aggressive and she couldn't stand it any longer. He would shout, kick doors, throw the phone, swear. She applied the steps and saved her marriage single-handedly. At first, it's his behaviour that is causing so much damage. But deep down, she loved him. She didn't believe in divorce, and she didn't want her children to come from a broken home. So doing the programme was her last resort. She felt if this didn't work, she could honestly say to her children, to herself, that she had done her best. You truly can change a relationship when you use this re-establishment of love communication. So this is the RRR method to create a new relationship that's better than when you first got together. The first step in this is to reset that vision and take loving actions towards making it happen. We're going to stop talking about the old problems or current problems and reset that vision. The actions will help you to become closer and feel connected, which is essential for affection, intimacy, and that in-love feeling. And when you take time out and really tune to become closer and feel connected, which is essential for affection, intimacy, and that in-love feeling. And when you take time out and really tune in to what you need and start giving you and your relationship this, it will truly come alive. You'll feel alive. The next step is to release and clear resentment and any negative thinking about the relationship or each other. Emotional and mental baggage can easily build up where we are not reacting to events that are happening. We are bringing the past into it. It's essential to release this for lasting happiness. And when we do, we feel lighter, freer, like this free bird again, that's really going to bring you back to this blissful peace with yourself and with your partner. And from this passion and closeness can really grow. Then we've got to re-establish the love communication and use those 25 principles where we use mirroring to re-establish those actions that we want to see both can enjoy and both can experience a great life through. So that's how we're going to revitalise the love process from this broken piece of china with the fragmented parts, the poor communication, lack of intimacy, broken trust, angry outbursts, financial problems, addictive behaviours, and the other different things that are happening into this transformed, beautiful, beautiful, strong new vessel of love that is able to stand the test of time and be able to be revitalised into this new, loving situation. And that's how we're going to create this new, happy relationship. A bit like the client success story of Christy and Zach. They were struggling to make each other happy. Christy wanted Zach to drink less alcohol, and help out more with their 2 boys. Zach wanted Christy to be more affectionate, intimate and loving in the way that she was and the way that she spoke to him. Micro-cheating, sexting had taken place, and that's when they came to me, intimate and loving in the way that she was and the way that she spoke to him. Micro-cheating, sexting had taken place, and that's when they came to me. They were barely communicating, and for the sake of their boys and the special history that they had together over 15 years, they felt that they owed it to each other to give it one last try. Through this process, they have created a new relationship where they are laughing, having fun all the time. They are best friends and lovers, and the whole family is much happier without the old tension and stress in the house. So let's recap. The only way shared with you today of how to open those lines of communication so that you can both talk without causing conflict, how to avoid talking about past wrongs and re-establish your power as an individual, become the most attractive and best version of yourself, how to talk so your partner opens up and is warm to you, process. And these things together will enable you to create that new relationship that is better than when you even first got together. But now you have 2 choices. The first choice is to keep doing what you're doing, talking over past problems, staying stuck inside endless arguments that won't help either of you, staying confused as to what you really want. Should I stay? Should I go? Or spending way too long in low energetic states that demotivate you. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. But there is another option. The other option is to take the step towards freedom, where you say, I'm sick of my relationship keeping me down, or I'm tired of being in limbo, or I'm fed up of waiting for time to change things. You are in control of your life. The people in this webinar all decided that their dreams they had are possible. And they were sick and tired of not having the relationship or marriage that they really wanted, and made a choice to make a change, to act. Decide now that you can do this. There has never been a better time to pick abundance, not lack. So what would it feel like if you're on a date night and you could feel that loving spark from their eyes? The way they look at you, where you feel loved, valued and special, where you can feel the desire from their eyes once again. Or what would it feel like if you're walking down the beach feeling like a teenager in love again? It could be possible for you.
I hope you like what you've heard. If you're ready to become closer again, release the past and create a new vision, then all you need to do is click on the link below or email me at nicolabeer.com to get started. Our team will then email you a full outline of what's included and how you can start transforming your relationship right away. Don't miss this opportunity for you and your family, as I can only take on 3 couples a month at this price, given on a first come, first served basis. I really look forward to speaking with you soon. I like to reward people who take action, and that's why on this page you'll find a special offer price you won't find anywhere else. To take advantage of this, click on the button below or email me at nicolabeer.com to get started. If you want to get these life-changing results in your relationship, take advantage of the special offer price available only with this video. Click on the link below to sign up today. I can't wait to support you.